finding good people for any job, it's tough.
It is.
But when it comes to tech, it gets even trickier. And
Yeah.
and especially when you might not be a tech expert yourself.
Yeah.
So this time we are doing a deep dive into choosing the perfect tech partner, our guide, a blog post from InSoftTex, a software development company. It's titled Guide to Choosing the Right Tech Partner. Key questions to ask.
Okay.
They lay out some really interesting points that I think we can unpack together today.
And that's what we're here for.
Right.
We're not about blindly following a checklist. This is about you understanding why you're asking each of these questions.
Right.
Yeah, so you can have the confidence to make a good decision
Yeah.
for your project.
For your specific project. So first up, the blog stresses the importance of experience and expertise
Okay.
and in your specific industry, which seems kind of obvious at first, right?
It does, yeah.
But what are the nuances here that we need to look out for?
Yeah, it's more than just ticking the box that says, yes, they've done a website or they built an app.
Right.
Think about it like this. Let's say you're building a health tracking app.
Okay.
You wouldn't want to go with a partner whose only experience is in building games,
Right.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
You need someone who actually understands the regulations, the expectations of users, security concerns, all that's specific to your field.
So how do we gauge that beyond just like glancing at their website? What should we be doing?
Look for case studies.
Okay.
Those are going to be like gold.
Gold?
Don't just see if they succeeded, but see how they did it. You know, how they tackle the problems.
Right.
Maybe they dealt with similar regulatory hurdles, as you will.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they had to scale up quickly.
Yeah.
And the details there,
Yeah.
those reveal their true expertise.
So what if when I go to their website, I don't understand half the jargon?
Right.
I feel like I'm going to sound like an idiot when I talk to them.
Yeah, that's a really valid fear.
Yeah.
But good communication, remember, is a two-way street.
Right.
Any partner that's worth their salt, they're going to be able to explain things clearly to you, no matter your technical knowledge.
Okay.
In fact, that's their next point, communication and collaboration. This is something InSoftTex really emphasizes.
But isn't that kind of like common sense?
Yeah.
Who wants to work with people that are bad communicators?
Well, you'd think,
Right.
but think about it. This is one of the leading causes of project failures.
Oh, wow.
And we're not just talking about like being polite.
Right.
This is about having clear processes.
Right.
So you want to ask them, do they use project management tools that you can actually access?
Uh-huh.
How often are they providing updates? In what format are they going to give you those updates? These things really matter.
So it's less about vibes, more about like
Yeah.
structured communication that keeps everyone
Yeah.
on the same page.
Yes, exactly. Imagine this. Your project suddenly needs this whole new feature, right?
Yeah.
A good partner, they're going to have a process in place
Okay.
to discuss this, to adjust the timeline, to keep you informed,
Right.
you know, without derailing the entire thing.
Right.
And that's why you got to really understand how they manage projects.
Project management. Ugh. The bane of my existence.
I know.
Especially, for us creative types, I once tried to manage like a website redesign myself and let's just say I learned the hard way
Yeah.
how crucial it is to have, clear timelines,
Right.
resource allocation, like all that.
It's a lot.
I'm sure you've seen this all the time.
I have. It's really common.
Yeah.
And that's actually where a good tech partner really shines.
Yeah,
Because they take that headache off your plate.
they do.
They have systems
Yeah.
to handle that complexity
Yeah.
and keep things moving smoothly.
So ask them about like how they handle changes in scope.
Exactly.
Yeah. How they track their progress. What's their process like for resolving roadblocks? So speaking of roadblocks, let's talk about bugs.
Okay.
Who here loves dealing with like glitchy software?
Nobody.
Right.
No.
Nobody.
It's the worst.
So quality assurance is this is a big one.
It's huge, yeah.
Yeah.
You need a partner who isn't just trying to build something fast. They have to build it right.
Right.
Don't be afraid to get kind of technical here.
Yeah.
Ask them about the testing methods. You know, do they do unit testing, integration testing, user acceptance testing? A dedicated QA team is often a pretty good sign.
And this isn't just about avoiding like a couple of annoying glitches.
Right.
It's about making sure that your final product works flawlessly.
Yeah.
Right? It meets your quality standards.
Exactly.
And remember, launching isn't the finish line.
No.
Right.
Not
What happens if we need updates, run into a problem, technology changes.
Uh-huh.
So that's where support and maintenance comes in.
Exactly.
And the blog really wisely points out that this relationship shouldn't end with the launch. You know, it's like a long-term partnership.
You know, I would actually push back a little bit on that,
Okay.
on the wisely part,
Yeah.
because it implies that we're just taking their word for it.
Right.
And this is about you assessing their support offerings.
Right.
So think about, what's their response time like?
Huh.
Are they providing you with ongoing security updates?
Mm,
Is there a clear process in place for you to even get help?
you're right. We have to stay critical,
Yes.
even when it seems like really good advice.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, it is my project,
Right.
my risk. Which brings us to another potentially awkward topic,
Oh, yeah.
money.
Money.
Nobody likes surprises when it comes to pricing and contracts.
No. Transparency is key here.
Yeah.
A good partner will break down their fees for you, whether it's an hourly rate, a fixed cost for the project, even potential like extra charges for things that pop up,
Right.
unexpected issues.
So don't be shy about asking for like a detailed breakdown
No.
of their pricing structure,
Please don't.
their payment terms.
Yeah, if they hesitate or get vague.
Yeah.
That's a big red flag for me.
Okay.
Clear, upfront communication about finances, super important for a good relationship.
Okay, so on to a topic that's become more and more crucial, and that is security and compliance.
Yeah.
With data breaches making headlines every other week, regulations like GDPR and HIPAA becoming stricter and stricter, we can't afford to be lax here.
Absolutely not. And this is where you have to see
Yeah.
if they actually do what they say.
Right.
Ask about specific security protocols.
Okay.
Do they encrypt data?
Mm.
How do they handle access control? What's their plan if something does go wrong?
Mhm.
What's the response going to be?
And it's not just about general security.
Right.
It's also about complying with specific industry regulations.
Exactly.
So if you're handling, for example, sensitive health information, HIPAA compliance.
Yeah.
Non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. Don't assume they're experts in every regulation.
Yeah.
You got to ask for specifics.
Right.
Things relevant to your project.
Mhm.
Their answers there are going to reveal how serious they really are
Yeah.
about security and compliance.
So even with all these practical considerations, there's like another layer to all this.
There is.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a whole other layer. Is there like a secret tech handshake or something?
Not quite,
Okay.
but just as important.
Okay.
You know, beyond the technical skills, there's this human element,
Oh, okay.
the cultural fit.
Okay. I see where you're going.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to work with people,
Right.
even if they're like coding genuines
Yeah.
that you hate.
Exactly. Exactly. It's about finding a team that shares your values, your communication style.
Right.
Do they actually welcome your input?
Mm-hmm.
Do they have a collaborative environment? Do they prioritize things like sustainability or ethical data practices?
It's not just about checking off those like technical boxes. It's also about
Yeah.
finding a team that feels right
Yeah.
on a gut level.
Yes.
Almost like a good first date, but for your business.
Haha.
Right.
That's a great way to put it,
Yeah.
because you're not just hiring them.
Right.
You're going on a journey together,
That's true.
and you want it to be positive and productive.
Okay, so we've covered a lot here, from like hard skills to gut feelings.
Yes.
But can we see this in action? Can we like peek behind the curtain at some real world examples?
We can. Let's actually take a look at InsoftX's own portfolio, their website. It showcases all sorts of projects,
Okay.
from fintech and healthcare to green tech
Mm-hmm.
and even robotics.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a good place to start,
Okay.
to really see how these principles play out in real life.
All right. I'm excited. Let's see how they walk the walk. All right, so we are peeking into InsoftX's project showcase, ready to see if they actually live up to their own advice. Where do we even start? I mean, this portfolio is all over the place.
Yeah, let's look at their fintech work, for example.
Okay.
They built this software as a service, or SaaS,
Okay.
lending platform.
Okay.
And this already tells us a few things, right off the bat.
Like what?
Well, they understand how complex financial data security is.
Right.
They likely have experience navigating those regulations.
Uh-huh.
And they know how to build something for users who demand reliability.
Yeah.
mean, think about all those transactions happening
Sure,
constantly.
Yeah.
So even without us, like being fintech experts ourselves,
Right.
we can kind of infer some things
Exactly.
just from that one project.
Mm-hmm.
But what about something completely different, like their green tech ventures?
Okay.
Does that experience even translate?
That's a great question. And honestly, one you should be asking about any potential partner.
Okay.
How well do those skills transfer
Right.
to what you need? To my needs, yeah.
In Insoftex's case, they developed software for solar energy management
Okay.
and a wind monitoring system,
Interesting.
which shows they can adapt.
Yeah.
But also, it points to a potential strength
Yeah.
in data analysis and visualization.
Okay.
And those are skills
Yeah.
that could be valuable across a lot of different industries.
Across industries, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they've got the range, it seems.
Yeah.
But remember we talked about case studies?
Yes,
Do they actually, give us those detailed insights?
they do.
Okay.
And that's where it gets really interesting. For example, one case study talks about how they helped this healthcare provider
Okay.
streamline their appointment system,
Makes sense.
and they didn't just meet high BA requirements,
Right.
which we know is crucial in that field,
Yeah, absolutely.
but they actually improved the user experience,
Wow.
leading to higher patient satisfaction.
Uh-huh. So that's exactly the kind of
Yeah.
behind the scenes look I think we need.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just the
Right. It's the what challenges did they face? How do they communicate with the client throughout the process?
Uh-huh.
Those little details.
It's all about the details.
It's going to be super revealing.
Yes. And in another case study, it showcases their work with a robotics startup.
Okay.
They had to build this pretty complex control system,
Oh, wow.
which obviously requires some deep technical expertise.
Right.
But they also had to adapt quickly
Uh-huh.
to the startup's evolving needs.
Right.
Startups, they pivot all the time.
Constantly, yeah.
So that speaks to their flexibility and their ability to work in a fast-paced environment.
Okay, I'm starting to see the value of really digging into
Yeah.
these projects because it gives you a much better sense of what they can actually do
Exactly.
than just, reading a list of skills.
Right.
But what about that softer stuff we talked about?
Okay.
Like communication, cultural fit.
Yeah.
Can their website really show us that? That's tricky. I mean, their website might say, we have a collaborative spirit or a client-centric approach.
Yeah. Yeah.
But those are just words.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
To really figure that out,
Yeah.
you got to go beyond just the marketing.
So it's kind of like dating. You can read someone's profile,
Yes,
but you don't really know them until you, grab a coffee
exactly.
to a phone call.
Schedule a consultation. Even if it's just a quick chat,
Right.
pay attention to how they communicate. Are they listening to what you need? Are they answering your questions clearly?
Mm-hmm.
Do they even seem like they care about your project?
Yeah, it's like sensing that connection, that shared understanding that makes you feel good about trusting them
Exactly.
with your vision.
And don't be afraid to ask them about their company culture.
Okay.
What are their values?
Mm-hmm.
How do they handle feedback? Do they encourage open communication?
Right.
Creative problem solving?
So we've got the hard skills, experience, technical expertise,
Ah.
solid project management approach, a focus on quality,
Mhm.
robust support.
Yep.
And then there's that layer of soft skills.
Yes.
The communication, cultural fit,
Ah.
shared values,
Mm.
that gut feeling of trust.
It's like building a house. You need the right materials,
Mm-hmm.
but you also need a good architect
Right.
to make something beautiful and functional.
It's true.
Finding that balance, the technical competence, and a good partnership is key.
Okay, so let's say we've done our homework. We've researched potential partners. We've combed through case studies. We've even had those initial conversations. We've got our, short list of candidates
Okay.
who seem promising.
Right.
What's the next step in this, tech partner quest?
It's time to put them to the test.
Oh,
But before we get into that,
okay.
there's one thing we haven't talked about specifically,
Okay.
and it's something that's often overlooked in the excitement of finding a technically brilliant team.
Uh-oh. Is this where you drop, a bombshell that changes everything?
Huh. Not a bombshell,
Okay.
but definitely something to think about.
Okay.
It's the human element.
Okay.
Beyond all the technical expertise, the
Right.
presentations, impressive portfolios, there's something more.
You mean their favorite pizza toppings?
Huh.
Or if they prefer cats or dogs?
Huh. Well, those might be fun icebreakers.
Right.
But I'm talking about something a little deeper.
Okay.
It's that intangible sense of trust and rapport
Huh?
that really makes any partnership work.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
It's like
totally.
you're on the same wavelength.
Yes,
You can rely on them. They genuinely care
exactly.
about your success.
It's more than checking boxes.
Right.
It's about finding a team that you click with,
Mm-hmm.
a team that you believe in,
Right.
a team that inspires you.
So how do we even tap into that?
Right.
Is there a secret formula or something?
I wish.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
You've already started
Okay.
by asking the right questions,
Mm.
really looking at their experience,
Mm-hmm.
paying attention to how they communicate.
So we're trusting those instincts
Yes.
that we've been kind of developing this whole time.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So imagine this.
Okay.
You've narrowed it down to 2 teams,
Okay.
and they're equally qualified.
Right.
They've got the skills, the experience. You even vibe with them personally.
Ooh. Okay. So this is getting intense.
Yeah.
It's like the tech partner version of choosing between 2 amazing desserts.
Exactly.
What tips the scale?
That is the question.
Right.
And honestly, only you can answer that.
Yeah.
But here's a question to think about.
Okay.
What intangible quality, that gut feeling,
Yeah.
would make you pick one over the other?
Ooh. That's good.
Yeah.
That really makes you think beyond just the technical stuff
Mhm.
and connect with what really matters in a partnership.
Maybe it's a passion for innovation.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a commitment to sustainability.
Okay.
Or even just, a sense of humor that matches yours.
Yeah, because let's be honest,
Right.
who doesn't want to work with people
Right.
who make you laugh? Especially even
But
when
who's
things
dead?
are
Tough. When deadlines are looming and code is breaking.
right, exactly.
Finding that fit,
Yeah.
that synergy
Mm-hmm.
between your vision and their expertise,
Yeah.
that's what makes all the difference.
Okay, so as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, let's shift gears for a second.
Right.
We've been talking about InSoftX's perspective,
Mm-hmm.
dissecting their advice,
Mhm.
examining their work.
Yeah.
But who is the person behind this blog post?
Right.
Don't you think it's kind of important to understand their background, their credibility?
Absolutely. It's like evaluating a scientific study.
Right.
You want to know the researcher's credentials, any
Yeah.
potential biases, to really assess the validity of what they're saying.
Okay, so who is the voice behind InSoftX's guide to choosing the right tech partner? Well, I did a little digging,
Okay.
and it turns out the article was written by Irina Ryback,
Okay.
their client success lead,
Oh, interesting.
which,
Makes sense.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
She's probably seen it all.
Mm-hmm.
The good, the bad, the ugly of tech partners.
I was going to say the good, the bad,
Right.
and the ugly. Yeah.
And that firsthand experience
Yeah.
gives her insights
Mm-mm.
that go way beyond textbook advice.
Absolutely. She's probably seen firsthand
Right.
how communication can completely derail a project,
Totally.
or how a good cultural fit can make a team so much more successful.
Think about it. She's the one helping clients
Right.
navigate this whole partnership.
Exactly.
She's seen what works
Mm-hmm.
in the long run.
It's like,
So we're kind of getting a double dose of expertise
Yes.
here. Not just from the blog post, but from the person who wrote it.
it's like having a guide
Right,
who's
yeah.
walked the path and is showing you all
Yes.
the pitfalls and the good stuff.
Okay, I'm sold on Irina's experience.
Yeah.
This whole deep dive has been really eye-opening.
Good.
I feel like we've explored so much, from the
But yeah.
nitty-gritty of experience and communication to,
Uh-huh.
trusting your gut, cultural fit, all that,
And we saw those real world examples
Yeah.
from InSoftX's portfolio.
which I think really helped
Yeah.
bring it all together.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up, I
Yeah.
want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
All right.
We've given you the tools, the
Mhm.
questions,
Yeah.
the insights to choose a good tech partner.
But the final decision rests with you.
Don't get so caught up
Right.
in the checklists and the jargon
Mm-hmm.
that you lose sight of what matters.
Trust your instincts.
Find a partner who not only has the skills,
Yeah.
the experience,
But also gets you,
Mhm.
aligns with your values, understands your vision,
Yes.
inspires you to do great things.
Beautifully said.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the world of tech partnerships.
Of course.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep innovating, and most importantly, keep asking those insightful questions.